Do you have a hunch your state may be a bad state to live in? Keep watching, I'll tell you if it is. What is going on, everyone? It is time to take a look at the worst states to live in for 2021. This year we looked at states and how they ranked from 1st to 50th in the most important categories, the ones that people really care about. Crime per capita, economy, which includes unemployment and poverty, healthcare, and education. This is how we did it. You take all 4 of their rankings and you add them up by the number. So if they came in 50th place, they get 50 points. Here's an example. If a state is 50th in crime, 48th in healthcare, 30th in economy, and 30th in education, they would have a score of 158. It's that simple. To be fair, all states, cities, towns, and neighborhoods have their good and they have their bad. We're just focusing on the negative stats that people care about when they're looking for a new place to live. As an example, West Virginia is on this list, but they have some of the best natural beauty in the nation and some of the best down-to-earth people you'll find on the planet. Well, most of them. There's a guy outside of Morgantown that has threatened to feed me to his hogs. On more than one occasion, too. This is like a theme with this dude. The guy is like the pig whisperer of West Virginia or something. He has like 51-minute videos on his YouTube channel, him feeding pigs. I watched all of them, thinking something else was going to happen. No, it's just him feeding pigs. And the profile picture he has on his channel is him basically taking a selfie with a pig that's wearing a tiara, you know, the little crown thing? Yeah, it's kind of weird. I asked him to quit contacting me. All right, let's quit talking about pigs and fancy headgear and look at what states are sitting at the bottom of the barrel for 2021. Number 10, Kentucky. The bluegrass state always makes this list. Like West Virginia, they have great people and beautiful land. And as a bonus, nobody there has ever offered to feed me to a pig. Kentucky has a population of 4.5 million residents, and at some point they decided clogging should be the official state dance. Kentucky has a reputation for its excellent farming conditions. It was the site of the first commercial winery in the United States. That was in 1799. I thought that was interesting. The bluegrass state was big in tobacco and coal for a very long time, and as those declined, Kentucky started showing up on lists like this more often. They still have those industries, just nothing like their heyday. They are 11th in crime, 39th in economy, 44th in healthcare, and 31st in education. That gives them a score of 125. Remember, the lower the better. As a comparison, the middle state is Hawaii, that's 75, and the best state is 26. I tell you what that is, but that'll spoil the surprise when I do the best in the United States next week. Number 9, South Carolina. The Palmetto State comes in at number 9, and I'm shocked it wasn't lower on this list. In my opinion, after Charleston, Myrtle Beach, and a few other places like Columbia, South Carolina gets really backwoods. You know, moonshine, outhouses, and complaining Kentucky beat them to using clogging as their state dance type backwoods. It's not all bad, though. South Carolina has over 5 million residents. The University of South Carolina is pretty cool, and they have 187 miles of coastline. That's not bad. What is bad is where they ranked in a lot of things. They are ranked 46 in crime, 16 in economy, which isn't bad, that's respectable, but 36 in healthcare, 43rd in education, giving them a total of 141. Number 8, Oklahoma. Oklahoma is known as the Sooner State, and it also is known as the land of the red man, and I still think that is sort of offensive to some people. I don't know why they haven't made them change that. It's weird. Anyway, moving on. Oklahoma has a population of just under 4 million people and a teen birth rate of 27.2 births per every 1,000 women, giving it the 3rd highest teen birth rate in the United States. The lowest is Massachusetts with 7.2 for every 1,000 women. That helps play into the high single mother rate they have, high rate of residents on public assistance, and a lot of questions on Father's Day. The Sooner State is ranked 41st in crime, 34th in economy, 47th in healthcare, and 39th in education, giving them a score of 161. Number 7, Alaska. Alaska has a state motto of North to the Future, which I think is an attempt to motivate people to move to Alaska for their future or whatever. They might need a new slogan though, or motto, whatever they want to call it, because the inward migration has slowed to a trickle. Between the 1950s and the 1990s, they were seeing an increase in population between 35 and 75% each decade. In the 2000 and 2010 census, it slipped down to 14% and 13%. In the 2020 census, which they haven't completed yet, it's estimated that they will only see a little over 2% population growth. Now, the big worry is it's going to get worse. This is a big state with hardly anyone there to begin with. If the trend continues, they could see a drop in 5 to 10% in the 2030 census. Now, I'm sure these rankings have something to do with that. They ranked 48 in crime, 46th in economy, 25th in healthcare, and 47th in education. They're not knocking it out of the park on anything. Number 6, West Virginia. Other than a pig farmer near Morgantown, the people of West Virginia are its greatest asset, with their landscapes coming in second. Now, that's what I said in a recent video, and it's very true. The mountain state, and it's beautiful, and the people are down to earth, and they're great. But they're on this list because of stats. They don't have the greatest stats, but also if you knew where they were 4 or 5 years ago with the opioid crisis and the loss of coal mining jobs, you'd think they deserve a reward for where they are now. Honestly, they have good people there and it's a beautiful, beautiful state. They just had, as I've said many times, a bad hand dealt to them. But they're coming out of it, so hopefully they'll be out of this list before long. It's going to take a while, but they'll get there. They are ranked 25th in crime, 50th in economy, 48th in health, and 44th in education. Now, I looked back, they used to be ranked 47th in education, so progress. They get a score of 167. Number 5, Mississippi. The Magnolia State and its almost 3 million residents are another state trending upwards. Mississippi is number 2 on the list of teen pregnancy and 4th when it comes to residents per capita on welfare. Now, 3 years ago, they were number 1. They also had they were like the worst in education 10 years ago. Now they're not terrible. They're still towards the bottom, but they're not the worst. They don't have many good-paying blue-collar jobs in Mississippi anymore, and that's their biggest problem. I mean, besides the fact they can't stand the way I say Mississippi. Jackson, the state's capital, has more than its fair share of crime, and the rest of the state has crime, but not a crazy widespread crime rate like some other states do. I promise you, we'll have a bunch of people saying that I'm wrong because in their small town, the local Piggly Wiggly's been robbed twice this year. You know, there's always something like that. Mississippi is great down by the Gulf Coast, and it has little pockets of really nice places to live, but a majority of the state is kind of run down and in poverty. They are ranked 26th in crime, 48th in economy, 50th in healthcare, and 46th in education. Their total score, 170. Number 4, New Mexico. Last summer, I took the train from Chicago to LA and it goes through New Mexico. You never see the best towns or cities a state has to offer from the train, or at least not the best part of a city or something. But when they gave New Mexico the nickname the Land of Enchantment, they must not have seen the cities around the train. They're ugly. Don't get me wrong, it's a beautiful state and they have some beautiful deserts. Santa Fe's nice, Albuquerque has some nice areas. You just have some places that need more than a fresh coat of paint and new carpet, like the entire city of Las Vegas, New Mexico. There's some areas in that town that need a flamethrower and a guy with poor coping skills, anger issues, and a lot of time on his hands to use it. They're ranked 49th in crime, 47th in economy, 31st in healthcare, and 49th in education. Those rankings suck, and we're only at number 4. Their score, 176. Number 3, Arkansas. Is anyone else shocked that Arkansas in the top 3? Arkansas has been moving in on Mississippi as the king of suckage in recent years. Arkansas has over 3 million residents and one of the absolute worst cities in the United States, Pine Bluff. Sounds nice. Pine Bluff? I imagine a camping trip and a nice place to take a hike when I hear the words Pine Bluff. If you go hiking here, you could get croaked very easily, and not by a bear. Arkansas is called the natural state, and honestly, you can't deny its natural beauty. The Ozarks are amazing. It does have a lot of beautiful land. The downside is it doesn't have many good stats unless toothless smiles per capita becomes a stat everyone wants. They are ranked 47th in crime, 43rd in economy, 49th in healthcare, and 42nd in education, giving them a score of 181. Number 2, Alabama. The Yellowhammer State is a great place to make friends. This is another state that has down-to-earth good people. They got good food, they got really hot summers, an amazing coastline, Mobile Bay's great. They just don't seem to have politicians that understand bad statistics and how to work on them when they show up. I mean, this has been going on a long time. They've got a lot of problems they need fixed. They never seem to get it done. The stats are a shame for this state too, because honestly, Alabama has a lot going for it. Just those stats though, here they are. Crime, they're ranked 45th. Economy, they're ranked 45th. Healthcare, 46th. And education, they're the absolute worst. They're the 50th. Last place. And you'd think with the University of Alabama and all the other schools like Auburn and stuff, they'd be doing great. No, apparently their education system sucks. Alabama gets a staggering score of 186. And before we get to number 1, don't forget to hit that subscribe button, hit that like button, leave a comment, tell us how you like the video. All right, on to number 1. And number 1, Louisiana. The Pelican State shows up at number 1 again. Every time I make a negative video about cities, Louisiana has like 2 or 3 on the list. Sometimes I feel like I'm picking on them, and then I remember I'm just following the stats. I didn't make these states the way they are, they did. It's usually not the people either, it's the politicians. It's like, how do these people get in power and make such bad decisions and then they stay in power? It's just really weird to me sometimes. But that could be said for both parties. And any third party that comes along will be the same way. It's human nature. Louisiana, like Arkansas and Mississippi, is just dysfunctional. Louisiana is considered to be one of the most corrupt states. They are in the top 5 in everything bad, like poverty, obesity, low IQ, shrinking population, the list goes on. And what really sucks, they don't even have a low cost of living. They're ranked 21. When you suck that bad, you're supposed to be cheap. They're breaking the rules. As far as the stats for this list go, the 4.5 million residents living in the state of Louisiana live with the fact that they're ranked 50th in crime, 49th in economy, 45th in healthcare, and 48th in education. They scored a whopping 192. Bravo, Louisiana. You're the worst state for 2021. But don't get me wrong, the food and the people are decent. The food's great. The people are decent. Just gotta watch out where you go. Stay out of most of Baton Rouge, and if you go to New Orleans, just stay in the right areas and you'd probably be okay. All right, that is our list today. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Hope you got some information out of it. Now, one thing that a subscriber suggests I do, I have another channel called On This Day. I'll leave a link below. It's just historical things that happened every day, much like this channel, but with a little bit of a twist. Appreciate it if you check it out. Subscribe if you want. Give each video a big thumbs up. And don't feel like you just have to watch the day of that video. There's a bunch of videos on that channel. Anyway, all right. Everybody have a great day. Be nice to each other.